have here the ultimate wildlife photography kit, but do make sure you watch to the end so you don't miss any nuance of equipment, and because I think every item counts.
Yes.
So if you are going on safari, yeah, watch the whole video. Okay. Well, hello and welcome to Camilla and I. And here we have Jonathan, my good friend Jonathan. Hello again. Here to show us his ultimate equipment that he takes on safari with him. So we're looking here at possibly the best possible gear you could use. Doesn't necessarily have to be Sony. This could be the equivalent Nikon Canon system. But Jonathan, with your extensive travels,
I would say, well, this is my setup that I've come to find works for me when going on safaris and wildlife trips abroad. But it's not necessarily exactly the setup for everyone, and you might want to vary it. But it's just to give ideas of what might be useful.
I would say this is the sort of, if money was no object, this is the ultimate scenario. Obviously, not everybody is going to have every single item in Jonathan's bag. At least I hope not.
Well, to start with, I used to until last year. I used to take a 400mm lens and a 7200, but since the 300 GM has come out, I've changed my setup because it's so much easier to use. So I used to use the 400mm and 7200, and that I used for a few years until the 300 GM came out, and it's so much better lens to use, so much easy to carry, and I've now completely changed my setup. So I've gone from a 2-camera, 2-lens setup to a 3-camera, 3-lens setup.
Right, okay.
Which actually gives me more range, but it's no heavier to carry because the 300 is so much lighter. You can basically carry 200 300mm lenses for the weight of one 400.
Right, yeah.
So the camera equipment I've now carry with me is a 300 in its native format, just at 300, mounted with an A1 II, a Sony A1 II. And then I've got another 300 here, which has got the 2x teleconvert on it, making it into a 600mm, also with A1 II. So we've got
a 300mm
lens and a 600mm lens. And then my third lens, which I carry in this small bag, which is small enough to go on the airline as a personal item. I've got another A1 II with the 50 to 150. So basically I've now got a range from 50 to 600 available when I'm on safari, where previously I had a range of 70 to 400. So it's a much bigger range now. And I found that is better because sometimes the animals come amazingly close on safari that 70mm is still not wide enough. But you don't want to then be swapping over to a wide angle lens because there's basically not time. They're so close now that there's not time. So I can go back to 50 on this one, but at the same time I can go to 600 to get them in the distance. And why have I got 3 bodies? You say, why have 3 bodies?
Why have you got 3 bodies, Jonathan?
And the simple thing is, in Africa and India and such places, it's very dirty and dusty, and the last thing you want to be doing is changing lenses out in the bush and getting dust on your camera sensor. That could completely ruin your trip if the sensor
only got to get
dirty.
1 drop of moisture on your camera, and that is a sensor, and that's a new camera. Basically.
So it's much safer to keep the camera mounted to the lens the whole time. The only time I would actually change lenses is when back at camp or maybe if we stop for a refreshment break and they're not moving. And
Yep.
but very rarely would I actually ever change lenses when out.
Okay. Yeah, and you use interesting mounting system when out as well, which is
So all the lenses have got this same Leo photo lens foot, which has got Arca Swiss on there, and I use that in conjunction with a monopod such as this. This is my customised monopod, which is a iFootage monopod, and I've got a Arca Swiss mount there. I can just drop that on the camera, and I can drop the camera down to the ground with basically a walking stick handle at the other end to hold on to it, so it's safe and I'm not going to drop it. And I operate it using, if you can get one out, one of the Sony remotes. So I can drop it down and I can view it by turning the screen like that. One thing is that you can't really see the focusing very well when it's down 4 foot away from you down at the ground. So I'm very much relying on the excellent A1 II autofocus to focus it properly. But it works 95% of the time. I might get the old out of focus shot, but
and then you get that low angle shot.
I get that low angle shot, which makes so much difference, and it's really worthwhile.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the main camera equipment that Jonathan uses. Obviously, when I pack mine, I'll be going with a A1 II. I've now got the two A1 IIs, and I'll be going with the traditional 70 to 200. And indeed I'll be using a 300 with 2x teleconverter, probably for my long range shots. So that'll probably be my principal setup. And then I do have the A9 III.
I would suggest that you don't put the 2x teleconverter. What I would suggest you do is leave it at 300, so you've got the f2.8 early in the morning. Because one thing on the Safari is the best shots are first thing in the morning when you first go out and last thing before the sun goes down. And you really do want that f2.8 aperture at that time.
That time in the morning.
So I would not put the teleconverter, go out with it.
So the first trip out. And
there may be when we stop for a refreshment break, normally about 8 o'clock in the morning, we stop for some refreshments when out on the drive, and that might be the time to put on teleconverter. But I wouldn't put the 2x on then, I put the 1.4 on.
1.5, I was going to say, yeah, probably.
Which would be then more nearer to a 400 focal length, but it would be 420. So it would be very similar to what I used in the past of 7200 and 400.
Yeah, okay. So
that will be my suggestion.
No, fair enough. Yeah, no, you already you'll certainly use those focal lengths before.
Yes.
But, yeah. So that covers the camera equipment.
So that's the actual camera equipment itself. Very important that you carry plenty of SSD cards to download the photos, and after every single drive I download onto the SSD
hard drive, which you got a little
I've got one up here.
Yeah, you're 4 terabyte.
That's not that one. I can't. I probably wrote the wrong thing out, but
okay.
But yeah. But so I'll download it onto an SSD. I have one here. There's one.
Yeah, there is one there. Yeah.
That's one there.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've got a 4 terabyte SSD here. This is a Samsung T7 Shield, 4 terabytes, and I'll download onto that. I would take on Safari 2 of these. Because most people, probably 4 terabytes quite enough, but I'm renowned for being quite trigger happy.
Yeah, and 6 terabytes, I think you mentioned on the last.
So my last Safari, it was 6 terabytes, so I take 2 of these.
And even doing video, I'm only going to get another 2 terabytes each. I've got one 2 terabyte.
So I would recommend after every drive downloading the
the footage
from the memory card in the camera onto these, and of course backing up the batteries. And a very important thing to take on Safari is spare batteries. I've got one in here, but I will have more than that when I go on Safari. I take
6.
at least one spare battery for every camera. So I'm taking 3 cameras here. I'll have at least a spare battery, so I'll have 6 batteries in total. So I can swap over batteries on each one.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So and then after every drive, as soon as I get back to the camp, I put them on charge, ready for the next drive.
Next drive, yeah.
And talking the bags,
yep.
we've now, the core of this, I use a Peak Design camera cube, large, well it's actually extra large camera cube,
Yep.
with my main gear.
Which I just purchased, and I got 20% off. So it was
That's good.
It was £105, I think. So not bad.
Which is good. You can zip it up here, because often in vehicles you haven't got room to have lots of bags and things, so you don't want it to take up too much space. And I've got this strap on there, and that's very good that you can loop this over the back of the seat, so that if the vehicle stops suddenly, the bag's not going to slide off the seat onto the floor and with all your gear in it.
Yeah.
So I did this on my last Safari to Zambia, and that worked really, really well to actually have this strap. So that's now become my system.
Yeah, and the Peak Designs, you can put a standard camera strap on there with
Yes.
the little lugs. No
Yes.
problem
And I've got this, which is the roller bag. So this is the Peak Design one, but you could quite easily put this inside any sort of roller bag, really. But this one's obviously is made for the purpose. But it's not necessary to use specifically this one.
at all. No.
But
Yeah. Think Tank do
but
similar.
I am getting on in years more, and I don't want to be lugging around all this heavy gear. Even with the 300s, it's still heavy when you've got 2 of them.
Yeah, and it's a 4-wheel system, this one.
So I can wheel it around the airports, because as we all know, the airports have lots of long distances to walk.
Yeah.
So wheel it through the airports. But then when I get to the camp, the roller bag will be left at the camp, and I'll just take the cube itself out on the game drives.
And you've got another.
And one of the things going to Kenya on Safari is you're going on a small plane from Nairobi out to the Mara, and you can't have a hard suitcase because they've got to be able to fit it in little small cubby holes on the small plane. So it's got to be a soft bag. So I use this one here, Peak Design. I'm advertising Peak Design today, but there we are. But it's
very good.
But one of the things I like about the Peak Design is they're all waterproof. Lots of these camera bags seem to not be waterproofed. And I did previously take I think it was a Think Tank one, and I got caught out in a heavy storm and my camera got rather wet inside. So
Yes.
since then I've only wanted to use waterproof bags.
Okay.
So that's why I've used the Peak Design ones,
Lovely.
because they're nice and waterproof. And this is good. I'll get plenty of things in here. I can fly with my monopod inside there, so it's big enough for that purpose, and put what clothes I need in there.
And we're trying to
toiletry
keep
bag
down
was-
to 15 kilograms on
We're
this
trying
one.
to keep down to 15 kilos for the small plane, but there is the possibility of buying extra luggage if we find we're not going to reach that.
That terrible situation, yeah.
But so we're not going to leave stuff behind for that reason.
No.
But it's if we can, that's going to save a little bit of money to keep to 15 kilos.
Yeah. No, excellent. And save our backs.
Yes.
Great.
So it's
So it's an amazing system. I think, I think you've got it
when you're doing multiple safaris here, you get into a system, and this is the system I built up. I'm not saying it's the right system for everyone, but this is what system that I use.
Yeah. No, that's right.
So the idea of this video is just to give you an idea And of course, in there's also a side pocket in here. In this, where I can put my laptop in as well.
Yep.
Which of course is very important to take your laptop.
Yeah, and you even work on their photos on the way back, don't you? I
do, yes.
Yeah. Which leads us on to remember to keep watching Camilla and I, because no doubt we'll do a breakdown on how you actually operate your system in the field. Your raw previewer, and you use raw preview, don't you?
Fast raw viewer.
Fast raw viewer, yeah, which is a very good system in which to.
I use it for colouring my photos because it's got lots of nice facilities, like you can set so any blown out highlights, it can highlight to you straight away. You can easily identify if it's all in focus. You can increase the exposure in it, you can decrease the exposure, you can do various things in it to help you evaluate if the photo's usable or not.
Brilliant, yeah, no, it's such a good system.
And you can flick through them so quickly that if you just hold your finger on the button, it's like watching a video.
Yeah. Yes, and when you take as many photos as Jonathan does.
Which may be as many as 6,000 on one game drive.
God, yeah. Right, okay, so there we are. Yes, anyway, I think that's it. Any questions, direct them to Jonathan, I think, but in the comments, please. But we're looking forward to this one. So we'll pack a similar case. I have got the Peak Design insert, as I said earlier, and we'll be filling it with a couple of bodies, and again having one body with us in the hand luggage.
There is a laundry service at the camp, so we don't need to take too many clothes. Probably about 3 days of clothes will be sufficient, and then they can go in for washing.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so we don't have to carry much of that.
Yes.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Okay. Well, thanks, Jonathan, for demonstrating the ultimate wildlife setup for Safari, I think, at the moment. I think this is you've tweaked it down.
This is what I've tweaked to this year.
This year. I mean, next year, who knows? It could be,
I think we've virtually got, I think I've got there now.
You've got there now. I mean, I was thinking about taking the 400 to 800, but I think I might have trouble.
You can if you want to.
I might have trouble with the weight, but we'll see. I'll certainly keep it to 15 kilos, because bringing you lot along as well, I've got another kilo of vlogging set up as well, so that might.
I would say in the vehicle, it's not necessarily suitable to use a tripod or monopod inside the vehicle, because any movement of anyone in the vehicle is going to rock around, so it's not necessarily on a stable platform.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yep.
you might not want to use a monopod in the vehicle. But so the problem is the 400 to 800, you've got to hold it up manually, or you could rest it on the edge with a bean bag.
Of course, yeah. Okay, yeah, but good for birds, I suppose.
Yes.
We'll get shots at potentially not. Anyway, we'll see. Yeah, no, looking forward to it. It's great.
One other piece of equipment.
Bonus extra on Camilla and I. You're particularly keen on these straps, aren't you?
Because I've got these Leophoto things, so I've got this strap.
Peak Design one?
No, this is Leophoto.
Oh, it's Leophoto. Okay.
And that nicely clips into the mount there.
Brilliant.
And just a press of a button, pull it out. So what I might well do, say I'm using this lens, for example, and then I want to go for longer. So I just clip that on. Now I can hook out and use that one, and I needn't worry that this is going to fall on the floor because it's clipped on. So it's security.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's rather than having a strap for every camera. Yeah, no, brilliant.
So I can just keep this on, and the camera not in use, I can just, or even just driving along, I can plug that in, and I'm not gonna drop the camera.
Yeah, and I can see you've written 600 on the base plate there as well. Just for
it's just so
quick reference.
It's just a reference. reaching for the right camera. I don't have to waste time waiting.
Yeah.
Which one's got the teleconverter on and which hasn't?
Because they look the same. Yeah.
Because they look much the same, so I put that 600 on there so I can grab it quickly.
Yep. No, that's great. No, brilliant. Okay.
All for speed, because as we know with wildlife, 1 or 2 seconds can make all the difference.
Yeah.
Getting the shot or missing it.
Or missing it. Yeah. Well, great. Thanks, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I think that just about sums it up. So any questions, over to the comments section. And but I think this is the ultimate setup at the moment, certainly for Sony.
So ask any questions, and I'll try and answer them if you've got anything.
And if you want to see the results from this trip, obviously keep watching Camilla and I.
Subscribe.
Do subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, apart from this lot. Don't buy all this lot. Anyway, have a good one. Thanks for now. Bye from Jonathan.
All right,
Thanks
cheers.
again.
Bye.
Camilla and I. Thank you. Right, nice.